Hey, welcome back. This is Krunzy, and you're watching my Fallout New Vegas walkthrough part 2. In part 1, we did everything that I deem relevant in Good Springs, uh, including the Ghost Town gunfight, which, um, which is why Ringo is right there instead of up in the gas station. And on this part, we're going to be heading down to Primm and essentially doing almost everything you can do inside of the city itself. There's a couple things we'll be doing in the next part after that, but for now, I just want to hit Primm. So there's a couple places around here we haven't seen yet, which is just because they're not incredibly close to Good Springs, but they're still pretty close. So I think that's almost everything looted. I do get a varmint rifle and off of one of these guys, and I have a varmint rifle mod, currently the silencer. So I'm gonna quickly equip that right now. And we're going to be going to the Devil's Gullet. There's a small building we can visit to for some loot. And Good Springs Cave, we never went in there. We just cleared out the enemies in front of it, and the Yangtze Memorial as well. Only a few coyotes around here. Not a very big threat to you, regardless of what your character is like. And even on high difficulty, they're pretty simple enemies. There are some rad scorpions though, further to the north, so you'll have to be really careful not to make them mad. There's I cut the house bit out there. It was a little bit redundant, and I didn't get much from going in there. Some death claws if you go really far to the east, like the very center of the map. So Devil's Gullet has a couple sarsaparilla star caps inside that box. You might want to grab them if you're trying to do the Festus quest. The Good Springs Cave has a duffel bag inside of it with some mid-tier loot and some coyotes. Not like an unreasonable or unmanageable amount, but there's a good 5 or 6 of them in the back there that can prove troublesome if you're not equipped properly. But I mean, it's still coyotes, so if you need to, you can just cheese them or use healing items. Some water in the around here. If you need to, I don't think I've mentioned this before, but if you need to recover your water stat, the best way to do it is to use standing sources like this, because it will quickly reduce it, I think by like 200 each time, and it doesn't cost anything, with the exception of a couple things like rads, if the water's irradiated or tainted. And I kill Barton Thorn here before he double crosses me. And up this hill, there's a number of geckos that normally he'd ask you to deal with, but I'm just going to do it anyway because you get some pretty good loot from doing it. I want to make sure it's not nighttime either because I have a darker night mod, and I don't know, I just felt like not uninstalling it, even though I probably should have. And I just slept through the night there. Malcolm Holmes came to warn me about some guy who's collecting star bottle caps and killing people for them. Some Brock flower and Xander roots on the way up to the top of this hill. The geckos themselves will actually do a decent amount of damage, but you can probably see it here. If you backpedal while shooting at them, they're pretty easy to deal with. They're sort of like Team Fortress 2 pyros. A lot of the time or at least the bad ones, will just run straight at you, so you just have to back up while shooting to deal with them. So a few more at the top. Using some bullet time here to get more shots off. It's kind of infuriating not having a decent a scope when you're trying to hit from medium to long range. While the wasteland balls there, make sure you deal with the bear traps. And I'm not sure if I went by pretty fast, but I grabbed a outfit from the cliffside there, which gives some stats as opposed to just guns and speech or whatever the jumpsuit did. So moving along, there's some more geckos. I'm using the 9mm now because I'm out of ammo for my varmint rifle. Yeah, gecko hunters. They can be a problem, but if you cripple their legs, as it is with most enemies, like I did there, you kind of saw them looking all depressed and not moving very quickly. If you cripple the legs, they're really easy to take out. And I was kind of surprised to see this ranger here, but I guess that's part of a mod or something. Normally there won't be a ranger here. But that was kind of scary. I guess he was just doing some recon or something. So we're almost here at Primm. There's a guy who will typically warn you about the escaped convicts inside the city. They're not a massive problem, but if you go in unprepared and they get a jump on you, they can actually kill you. So have to be careful about that. Stealing all the ammo I can. Hopefully not getting caught during it. I need all the ammo I can get. Some NCR armor there if you need disguise, which you probably won't this early in the game, but if you're planning on siding with the Legion, it's good to have them somewhere, like in storage or on your person. So, this town has 4 convicts outside. 2 of them are on the roller coaster, so you'll probably won't have to deal with them when you're just first approaching it. But you can kill them later if you want to. The first one's laying up against the wall here, and the second one's further out behind him in the parking lot. That's the guy I'm getting with VATS. The guy laying against the wall isn't being targeted, but he's definitely there. I chose to use the varmint rifle because it has a better sight and probably less spread than the pistol. And the silencer made it so that they never even were aware of my presence, even after one of them was shot, which was sort of an added bonus. Normally, the other one will start shooting at me once I kill the first one, but I guess my investment paid off. This guy doesn't have a varmint rifle, but I believe the other one does, which is good because our current weapon is fairly poor condition. I switched my outfit to the veteran outfit there, just because I think it looks a little bit nicer. I think they have the same stats and stuff. Oh, this one doesn't have a varmint rifle, but some of them inside do, I know. So, yep, there we go. So, inside you can talk to Mr. Nash here, and he's actually he's an important quest point here, and you can talk to him about the other courier, who happens to be Ulysses from the Lonesome Road DLC, which is pretty interesting. It's especially interesting if you've gone through the DLC before and you come back here and talk to him about it, because it kind of adds some depth to the game, and you can see how they were planning ahead of it, which is kind of cool. I don't believe he has anything too good for me. He has a couple pistols there, and he has some ammo. I do kind of use him as a item dump because I want to have a cleaner inventory, so I think I bought one of his pistols just for the sake of getting rid of some inventory space. But he didn't have much ammunition for my varmint rifle. Not a lot here. There's some safes in the back you can go clear out, which I think I will in a moment. They're pretty... it's an easy and I believe a very easy, possibly medium, but I guess we'll see that in a second. He also has a hard safe, which requires that 75 lockpick skill I was mentioning in the other episode, which we will be reaching, albeit temporarily, in a moment here once I level up. And I wait till I'm done with the entire area before I use the magazine to boost it up, just because that way I don't end up wasting the magazine, or I essentially get to use it for 2 saves instead of 1. There's also an armed weapon here, I think brass knuckles. Even if you're not going to use it, it sells for a decent price. Obviously not to him, but to other people. There's I believe the unique version of the brass knuckles can be found in Bonnie Springs, which is if you did follow the deadly Cazador path north of Good Springs, you'd kind of make your way there. It has some Viper gunslingers, I believe, but if you actually kill them, then Cazadors will spawn there 7 days later. So here you can start the unmarked quest for the Vance's machine gun if you have enough science skill. You go check the display case and see that there's no gun there when it says there is, and then you can pass a check with Slim there, and he'll actually give you a map marker or something about where it is for the unique 9mm machine gun. So here, one of them is pretty much always going to be in the door across from you, so you'll have to take him out quickly, otherwise he'll begin just shooting at you, obviously. I came in there sneaking, so I was able to just pick him off quickly before he was able to react. This door here is locked with a 75 as well, but I think I mentioned I want to make sure I use my lockpick after I cleared everything out, and the computer only requires 25, and that will unlock the safe for you. So there's a key on the table as well that will unlock a very easy door. So, or maybe it's an easy door, I don't remember. But it's really, you shouldn't need to use the key, so I don't think I pick it up just because I want to get some extra experience. Again, he didn't even have a chance to hit me because of the silenced. Now, you might notice at the top right that it's prompting me that I don't have any companions. I have a companion mod that essentially it gives you a different, it gives you a custom like UI thing for interacting with your companions that lets you just kind of bypass the talk menu entirely, or the companion wheel, depending on what you prefer. And yeah, I find it to be pretty convenient. I'll probably have a link to the mods I'm using at some point if I remember. I don't know if I will. This guy can wait for you at the end of the hallway, so be wary about him. I do actually die several times inside here, but I decided to just edit them out because if I didn't, the video would be a lot longer than it currently is, and this is already like more than twice as long as the first episode. So I decided, and I didn't I didn't speed this part up because it is actually a bit tricky, and knowing the enemy positions can be helpful. So I want to go through this nice and slow. There's some enemies behind that door, which killed me last time, or killed me at least once. You saw Deputy Beagle was actually carrying his journal. You don't need to ask him about it. You can either kill him or kind of allow him to die, which I did later. He got some shots off and then perished. So this guy's got a heavy incinerator, and or maybe it's just an incinerator, I'm not sure, which is like a flamer, but instead of doing a constant stream, it does long-ranged balls of fire that it launches at you. And I'm backing off here to draw some distance and make sure I don't get hit by that thing, because it's going to hurt me a lot if it does. I'm already like half health from just a single like varmint rifle shot or something. I'm not sure what hit me, but I deal with him a lot cleaner than it would have been if I just stood there and fought him. So I was going to have that dynamite wasted, but I ended up being able to use it to draw their attention. But I draw a little bit too much attention, and now there's 3 of them coming for me. So that one shot put me down another quarter of my health-ish. So now I'm pretty low, but I am able to use a stick of dynamite there to knock them down, which is part of the Nevada mod. So that will permit me to, I just kind of use a preemptive doctor's bag there because I'm about to be crippled. Yeah, I can do it, I do it a second time. And some weird mishaps here. It won't let me shoot anything. So I have to try to do it manually, but by the time I aim, he does this weird thing where he lays like straight down and doesn't move for a while, and then he does weird animations, pulling out his crowbar. Does about over half my health with a single hit. And his friend just kind of ran off, so that's going to make it a little bit easier for me. But yeah, that's just an incinerator. It weighs a lot, but it's worth a decent amount. At least if you have it repaired, which it isn't, so I don't deem it worth looting. So the other one's back in that kitchen room, and he is doing an interesting thing. It's I laughed pretty hard when I saw him because I thought he was actually Deputy Beagle trying to sneak out. I get another mercenary outfit here, so that allows me to repair it, although I didn't really need to repair. It was just kind of good to have. And down he goes. That made me pretty happy. It made all the deaths a little bit less painful. I got a armor rifle off that guy. And this guy too. So I'm going to have my rifle in decent repair. And I think that's... Nope, there's one more. Okay. That's everyone on the first floor then. And with that, I level up. So I want to put a point into... Normally you want to put a point into Educated because it gives you the most skill points. But I can see myself... Or well, I put off grabbing it because I'm losing 2 skill points for the convenience of being able to reach 75 lockpicking with comprehension. So instead of giving me 10, the skill magazines will now give me 20, and the skill books will give me 4 as opposed to 2. Skill books are a little bit, or significantly rarer in this game than they were in Fallout 3. But they give you more, like significantly more. Quick save here, because I'm about to hit a check. So I pass it, and now Beagle's going to help me clear out the rest of the enemies. Hopefully. This check's a lot easier, though. So. Also, he told me about the... I didn't have to kill him this time, because he told me about them, even though I didn't want him to, but... Whatever, I'm kind of a bad person in this game. Or not too bad, but I'm still pretty bad at some points, just to kill some time. Or save some time, rather. Alright, so now I'm going to clear the upstairs segment, and this part, I think, killed me twice, whereas the downstairs part only killed me once, but... It's mostly, I didn't expect this guy on the right here. Once I get out of the loading screen, obviously. He really gave me some trouble. Like, that Nuka-Cola machine always just... It was so tempting. I love Nuka-Cola, but if you go and grab it before you deal with him, you'll just get shot in the back and die. Or at least take a lot of damage. So I have Beagle here just doing his best, but his best isn't very good. So he ends up dying in a moment. And I deal with this other convict while I have the first one distracted, though. So Beagle did something, at least. So I get shot twice or so, and that cripples my leg and just wrecks my health bar. But he's going to have to reload here in a second. Yeah, there it is. Oh, he grabbed his friend's ammo. Yeah, never loot before you're done with the combat. Unless you're a Fallout character, because then you can pause time magically. There's the Nuka-Cola I wanted. This guy's coming, but I had the drop on him. So, hopefully he'll go down easily. See, I crippled him in the head there, and he took a solid, 3 seconds to recover. Oof, okay. Yeah, I died a lot here. Enemies have guns, and I don't have any armor. I'm used to having at least leather armor at this point, but I guess I just didn't equip it. The guy downstairs had it, but I decided not to bother with it. So those are the first few guys taken care of. There's a few more left, and I was being cautious there because the game was telling me to. In this side room, there's not a whole lot. There's a toolbox if you need some mechanical parts. And again, more varmint rifles. Gonna save here just because I recognized how many times I died in the first part, and I don't get a free autosave. So there's two guys here, dude with the hockey mask, and I got like a crit on him. So he went down, and the guy down the hallway as well, who walked right into the dynamite, and then just proceeded to stare at the wall while I shot him in the face. So I got pretty lucky. I think it took me 2, maybe 3 tries. I'm not sure. I'm recording the audio about 4 days. Oh, even maybe it's like a week ago even that I did this, but it was a while. So I have lots of 9mm pistols, as you can see. It's gonna use them to repair or condense them into decent pistols. One of the convicts there had a key that leads to a dresser that has I think a 10mm pistol and some ammo in it, which is right here. Yeah, some good loot there. Make sure you grab that if you're coming upstairs. And there's also a stairway or a door you can take to get on top of the railroad tracks if you feel adventurous. There's some enemies you can kill up there. So here's the part where I use the lockpick magazine because I've cleared out all the enemies and I can safely just run through and hit both the safes. There it is. It's my barter book. I think I had the survival book as well. And I need to use the locksmith reader. There we go. So in that safe there's the unique 357 Magnum Lucky, which has increased crit chance and is just the best 357 caliber pistol you can get. Possibly the best 357 Magnum weapon you can get. I can't remember what other weapons there are. So and I also got the safe there and remembered to grab the cash registers as well. And some, I think, mentats on the ground. So before we leave Primm, or at least the first time we leave Primm, we're going to have to come back in a moment. We mentioned that his deputy died. Or rather that the deputy sheriff died. So we're going to have to get a replacement sheriff because there is currently no sheriff in Primm, as they were killed by the convicts, and possibly Bunny, I'm not sure, probably just the convicts though. And that's a quest we're going to be doing next time. Quickly, just going to go through and sell what I can to Mr. Nash. And I want to get a companion before we leave, because the road down to the outpost is actually pretty difficult. Gonna grab the casseroles there. They're very good healing items, or I guess food items. So I learned that I needed scrap electronics and some scrap metal. So you can get scrap electronics up at the Lone Wolf Radio, and there's some scrap metal inside the actual house, as well as toolboxes tend to have them as well. But anyway, preparing my companion here. And with that, we're going to be able to safely make it down the road to the Mojave Outpost. So I will see you guys then.